Hi my loves, and today we're talking about astrology. However, we're not talking about the zodiac signs, we're talking about Venus in retrograde. Yes, you heard me, because I see some of you posting some emotional stuff on the gram, and I'm here to help you and spill the tea what's happening. But before we begin, if you want me to read your birth charts and tell you why unconsciously, of course, you're doing all the things you're doing, just scroll down the description below and find my email address, hit me up and I'll speak to you. Also, if you want any of my healing oils charged with healing energy, again, go down below, find my email address, let me know. And again, if you want a tarot reading, my email is down in the description below. Find me and let me know. So now let's dive right in and speak about specifics. We have Venus, which goes retrograde on the 13th of May until the 25th of June. And let's talk about Venus first. So Venus is the planet of relationships, the planet of love, the planet of creativity, the planet of money, the planet of everything beautiful, nature. And Venus rules Libra and Taurus. What's Libra about? Libra is about balance, relationship, fairness. So all things to do with others and within ourselves as well. Taurus is the sign of the five senses, the sign of pleasure, tangible things, material things, valuable things, what's valuable to you. Also the sign of money. So all those things, including in Libra and Taurus, will be coming to us during this period of time. And you know that we're not just made out of one sign, and the birth chart is quite a complex thing. So depending on when exactly you were born, different areas of your life will be affected, but somehow all of us will be affected in those areas. And so now we have Venus, which goes retrograde in the sign of Gemini. So Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is communication. Mercury rules the mind. So we have a mind connection, logical connection, and this paired with relationships, partnerships, what's valuable to you, what do you value in life, how do you value yourself, your self-worth, your confidence, how fair are your relationships between you and people, whether those are business partners, whether those are love relationships. All this is going to be very much emphasized. And what's the retrograde about? Retrogrades are about bringing the past. Yes, we're never done with this. We're going to revisit the past as many times as we need to until we learn the lessons. Sorry to tell you the truth. One very important thing to know about this is that Venus goes retrograde once every 18 months. And the last time we had Venus in retrograde in Gemini was in 2012 and 2004. So you can go back and think about what kind of things happened to you during this time. What was your self-worth? What was your confidence? What was your relationships like? What was your money situation like? Because you may as well find a pattern, and this comes back to you just because you need to do things differently this time, and to test you if you've learned your lesson, of course. And so a lot of people are scared of retrogrades, and I'm here to tell you there's nothing to fear during retrogrades. I just want to tell you all how to use this time in your own advantage. And so what happens during Venus retrogrades in terms of love and relationships, first of all? Well, as we're talking about the past, we're going to have a lot of thoughts from the past, unresolved situations. So if you have any unfinished business, if you didn't do your job properly before, this is going to come back to you now. So whether you're going to be reflecting on how you dealt with people, how people dealt with you, balance between you and others, what do you value in a relationship, this is all going to come back now. And no wonder some of you have been emotional and been thinking about the past. One thing I'm going to tell you: don't get back with your ex, sweetie. This is not the right time. So a lot of us might have people from the past coming back, us wanting to contact somebody. All I want to say is it's a time for reconciliation. However, not reconciliation going back to somebody. It's a time of reconciliation with the past, with how things went, having a retrospection about it, and just making peace with the past, making sure there is no bad blood. However, Venus in retrograde brings us a little bit of illusion. So if you feel like you want to go back with someone, I'm sorry to tell you, this may not last very long time. However, I'm not saying don't go back with your ex. I mean, you can do whatever you want, right? But this time is really good for Gemini conversations, research, exploration. So take this time to maybe speak with the people, revisit the past experiences, decide what worked and what didn't work, and wait for Venus to go direct, because I assure you there will be a change of heart. If you happen to meet somebody new during this time, please, please, please do not rush into relationships. I'm sorry to tell you, it may not last. Again, I'm not saying don't get into a relationship, but take this time for conversations. We're in quarantine. Have a pillow talk, have an online date, get to know the person, talk to them more, and after Venus goes direct, you can do whatever you want. Venus retrograde also brings past life relationships, past life unfinished business, past soulmates. So a lot of people may meet somebody that they feel like they've known forever, or they feel extremely attracted and attached to. Again, the advice here is take the time to talk to this person, take the time to consider things. Do not rush into any new commitments during this time. The good thing is that if you had any fallouts or breakups during this time, they may also not last, and things may soften after Venus goes direct again. It's a very great time for you to work on your current relationship as well. Think of any repetitive patterns you have in relationships in general or in your current relationship and work on this. In general, everybody go and do online dating, pillow talks, talk to people. It's an amazing time for conversations, and Gemini says, tell me, but also show me, because love is an action, love is a verb. You may tell me how much you like me, how much you love me, but what do your actions say? How do you show me this? Now, what does Venus retrograde mean in a sense of business, money, material things? Again, because Venus retrograde brings things from the past, you experience old partnerships to come back. Maybe old sponsors, old clients, old employers contacting you again. And the advice here is do your research, talk to them and reconsider things. However, do not take any commitments right now, because again, by the end of this period, you may have a change of heart. And if you've had any unfinished business with paying off debt, with owing money to somebody else, unfortunately this may come back as well. The good news is that if you're owed money by somebody, this may come back to you as well. While Venus in retrograde concerns beauty, the advice here again is do not take any dramatic decisions to change dramatically. Don't just wake up tomorrow and decide you want to shave off your head. Don't wake up tomorrow and decide you want to bleach your head completely, because anything that cannot be changed after this period of time may regret later on. So any changes you make sure that they're temporary changes. Make sure that these are things that you can change after Venus goes direct again. If you have already scheduled cosmetic surgeries and things like this, that's fine because it's been scheduled beforehand. Stay away from taking the decision and going ahead with any cosmetic procedures right now. Any dramatic changes like buying a whole new wardrobe of clothes with a completely different style than what you normally wear. And to summarize everything in the end, Venus retrograde is about bringing the past in terms of relationships with people, in terms of love, in terms of partnerships in business, in terms of creative ideas. If you've had any creative ideas that I didn't follow through with, this is an amazing time to explore those again. Do a research. What new things can you implement? What new ways do you have to complete these creative ideas? It's an amazing time for creativity and finding new ways to express this. And in general, do not make any long-term changes and long-term plans, long-term investments, anything that cannot be changed in the next 4 months. Please wait until Venus goes direct, because we're going to have a change of heart about things. So that's from me. I hope this helped and enjoyed it. Please subscribe and share.